I don't think that word means what you think it means. What's up, Orlando, Central Florida? Welcome to the conversation. There's a word in real estate you use a lot. Matter of fact, when you ever meet me and talk to me, not necessarily for the first time, but re-meet me or a friend of mine, you always ask this question with a specific word. Say, in the words of Inigo Montoya, I don't think that word means what you think it means. Inconceivable. The word, my friends, is this: market. What are people getting wrong about the real estate market? And if you're new to the conversation, I have my notes down here. So if you see me looking down, I got my little computer situation going on here. People are talking about the market. And it's fascinating. The market is hot. The market is cold. The market is crashing. Oh, the market is booming. And if you watch enough national propaganda, did I say that? News on your major stations, right? You're getting these headlines. And what we're seeing is we feel like this market is this national giant national machine that has a life of its own. And yet that's not the truth. The truth is this: there is no market. Why is that in real estate? Why is there no market in real estate? And once you understand this concept, then your personal real estate decisions become much clearer and much easier. And that's what we're going for today. So what do most people mean when they say the market? Well, when people say the market, they mean normally three things: that prices are either rising, they're going down, or interest rates have changed. We've seen a lot about that. That's been the big focus now. And the media takes one of these three things, or two, or all three, and blows this up into this hyper emotion. But real estate doesn't work that way. There is no national market. But here's what there is: there is thousands of small local markets working together. Or actually, I'd say overlapping. I'm not saying they're working together, but they exist, and they coexist, and they have to coexist. So what does that mean? It means you could have a markets, obviously, in different cities. Here in Orlando, such as any giant metropolitan, you have little city, you have Orlando proper, and then you have places such as Altamont Springs, you have Sanford, you have Winter Garden, you have Claremont, you have Winter Park, you have Longwood, you have different areas, Dr. Phillips, you have different areas that work together. But each of those little cities is a market unto itself. But wait, there's more. Markets also mean price points. Homes that are entry starter homes, which is currently the median average price, or the median average. Does that make sense? The median price in Orlando is about $400,000 is to base level price, is very different than a $1.2 million home. Different markets, different expectations. They behave differently. So looking at that fact, markets is not just this one big thing. There's a lot that goes into it. Neighborhoods, I said price points, property types. People will say, hey, how's the condo market? How's the single family? I hardly ever hear, how's the single family home market? Because just say, how's the market? I mean, homes. But now let's say, how is the condo market? Okay, that's a little different market than single family homes. And they behave differently, different price points. So what are we looking at? When we look at Orlando, we can say Orlando market is very different from the Phoenix market, from the New York market, from the Tampa market, from the Daytona Beach market, that we're getting closer. So when someone says to me, hey man, we hear the news, the market's bad. Oh my gosh, the market's bad. The real question is, who is it bad for? This is why there's no good or bad market. So stay with me. There is no good, bad, or bad market. There is simply a set of conditions. And those conditions either favor four different groups of people. Sometimes those conditions favor sellers. We saw that in 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. And the strength of how they favor them varies within that, right? You could have a strong seller's market, a weak seller's market. Sometimes the market conditions favor buyers. We're starting to see what's called a balanced market, and that favors both equally. It might feel like a buyer's market, but we're still technically in a seller's market due to inventory. The other one is investors. Investors, some markets favor investors, and some markets favor people who are just waiting. But very rarely do all four markets favor at the same time. They tend to kind of ebb and flow, ebb and flow. So when we say how's the market, what I, as your real estate professional, am doing is looking at buyers, sellers, where is it favoring? And that's really the question. And people say, if your real estate is a good market, it's a bad market, I would be skeptical. Hey, this market's favoring sellers right now. Hey, this favors a good time to buy. It's a good time to sell. It's a good time to invest. It's a good time to wait a minute. So for example, we're going to look at some of the examples. About 3 years ago, well, not more than that, 2020, 2021, when interest rates got to 3%, the market favored sellers. And it favored those who waited not to buy, but to sell. Why? Because people that were waiting to sell, that said, hey, you know what? I probably got another 15 years in my home. They refinanced. They refinanced. And they got a lower interest rate. And now they're like, hey, I got a 2.5%, 3%. I'm not moving. Did it favor? Did the market, was it bad for buyers? It was. You had a ton of competition, 20 offers on a home. You were paying above what the average or the then going rate was, market rate, right? I feel like I'm in a seafood restaurant. The marlin is market price. I love that. Okay. So, but today, with higher interest rates, and we just started in 2023, 24, right? We got up to 8%. We're back down to just about 6 at the time of this filming. What we're starting to see is a market. It's called a balanced market in terms of inventory, right? An inventory market balanced. We're not talking about pricing. We are seeing now, because it's starting to move towards a balanced market, it's less intense for sellers, and we're starting to see buyers have more choice. Starting to feel different, even though it's still a seller's market. So what does that mean? It means that with the higher interest rates, buyers pause. Sellers are facing competition now. Why? Because buyers are being more choosy. And some investors are starting to see, you know what? There are people that need to get out, need to get that cash. I'm going to find a way to help them. And they end up getting a deal on their properties. Why? Because they know how to find them. And that's okay. So who does the current market conditions favor? So a better way to think about this, we ask ourselves, is this a strong seller's market? Are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a balanced market? And that, again, is just the beginning of the market question. Because when people ask me, I tell them, okay, what's your price point? What are you talking about? Are you talking about a single family home? Are we talking about a condo? Or if we go back to single family homes, are we talking about single family homes that are entry price point for first time home buyers? Or are we talking about more $1 million and above, starting into luxury? What price point? Markets behave differently. Are we talking about the property conditions? All right, we're all in the $400,000 homes. What's the property conditions? Are we talking about the market of dilapidated homes? Ugly homes? Are we talking about market of homes that are all fixed up, ready to go? So you could have a seller's market for under 500,000, but a slower market for homes over $1 million in the same city at the same time. How it is. So what the market actually is, what is the market at its core? The real estate market is simply this: people like you, me, making decisions under certain conditions. The market is simply this: you and me and everybody else there making decisions under certain conditions. Are we making those decisions under the condition where there are more homes for sale than there are for purchase, a seller's market? Are we collectively as individuals make a decision where we are not selling our home? We are selling our home and everybody's selling their home at the same time. And now you have a buyer's market. All right. So these conditions, what do they include? They include interest rates. They include inventory levels, population movement, right? We're getting a lot of people coming. We've gotten a lot of people from New York. That's the big joke. From California, from certain states that were tired of high taxation. We're getting here in Florida, and they're coming in. Population movement, job growth, construction, supply, local demand. But at the end of the day of all of this stuff, what you're seeing is It's still just people waiting to decide or deciding whether they wait or they buy now or they sell now. That's all it is. And when enough people make a similar decision, that is what we call the market right there. So the real question we got to stop asking ourselves is it a good or bad market? But the better question is this the right market for my situation? Because people do things, they buy and sell for reasons that have nothing to do with the national headlines. We have new jobs. We have growing families. We are downsizing. Maybe we lost our job. Maybe we're changing jobs. We call it a lifestyle shift, right? Life doesn't wait for perfect markets. I was having a conversation the other day and I told a realtor, like, somebody was doom and gloom. Oh, I said, I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. Every day, somebody is buying and selling a property in Florida. The question is, are they doing it with me? That's it. Are they doing it with me? The market's moving regardless. The next time you hear someone say the market is terrible, the question you want to ask yourself, or maybe ask them, is say, for who? Just remember, they're usually talking about one piece of a much bigger picture. Real estate is not about predicting the perfect market. It doesn't happen. Real estate is about understanding the conditions you are in and making the best move for your life. And sometimes the smartest move is simply slowing down for clarity. Because slow is smooth and smooth is fast, especially in life and especially in real estate. And if you ever want to talk it through, I'm easy to reach.